And a very good morning to you. I say that tongue-in-cheek. Good morning to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world. It is a pretty gloomy-looking morning out there in the Spice Isle. We've got a lot of cloud cover, totally overcast this morning, and that doesn't come as too much of a surprise. I think you may remember that earlier this week, we told you that Wednesday and Thursday were likely to be pretty rainy days, and just a little while ago I was taking a look at the satellite picture, the isolated satellite picture for Grenada. Yeah, there's a lot of cloud out there, so don't be too surprised that you find it kind of soggy today, but nice to have you with us anyway. Thanks a lot for joining us. Now, this morning, once again, our darling little country makes it to yet another blacklist. This time it's a list which has been published by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. You probably know them as the OECD. I'm about to share with you an article which appeared in The Guardian Online, that's a British online newspaper, which has been verified by the OECD website. Now, I quote, "A blacklist of 21 countries whose so-called golden passport schemes threaten international efforts to combat tax evasion has been published by the West's leading economic think tank. 3 European countries, Malta, Monaco, and Cyprus, and Grenada, are among those nations flagged as operating high-risk schemes that sell either residency or citizenship in a report released on Tuesday by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. A Paris-based body has raised the alarm about the fast expanding $3 billion US, that's 2.3 billion pounds sterling, citizenship by investment industry, which has turned nationality into a marketable commodity. In exchange for donations to a sovereign trust fund or investments in property or government bonds, foreign nationals can become citizens of countries in which they have never lived. Other schemes, such as that operated by the UK, offer residency in exchange for sizable investments. But concern is growing among political leaders, law enforcement, and intelligence agencies that the schemes are open to abuse by criminals and sanctions-busting business people. Transparency International and Global Witness, in a joint report published last week, described how the European Union had gained nearly 100,000 new residents and 6,000 new citizens in the past decade through poorly managed arrangements that were shrouded in secrecy. Also, on the OECD blacklist are a handful of Caribbean nations that pioneered the modern-day methods for the marketing of citizenship. These include Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Kitts and Nevis, which has sold 16,000 passports since relaunching its program in 2006. That's St. Kitts and Nevis. After analyzing residence and citizenship schemes operated by 100 countries, the OECD says it is naming those jurisdictions that attract investors by offering low personal tax rates on income from foreign financial assets, while also not requiring an individual to spend a significant amount of time in the country. The OECD believes the ease with which the wealthiest individuals can obtain another nationality is undermining information sharing. The OECD warned that schemes can potentially be abused to misrepresent an individual's jurisdiction of tax residence. Ha 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 ha. Folks, we just can't help it, can we? By the way, if you go to the GrenadaBroadcast.com website, and it's all over the internet anyway, you can check out the entire story there, okay? By the way, I regret to inform you this morning, broken-hearted am I, that our good friend Alan Baczynski will not be with us this morning, as he usually is every Thursday morning. Alan has to attend a book launch this morning, and so he's not going to be here. However, that also gives me the opportunity to break some rather important developments to you this morning. I attended a very brief press conference yesterday afternoon down at Camerhogne Park, and there's some information which I think will be a little bit discouraging for you folks, okay? And that's going to come to you after this morning's edition of the National Report.
GRENADA Community Partnership Initiative.
What we have seen with the quality of the debate, the intellect, the effort that has gone into this is a credit, first of all, to the debaters themselves. But it's also a credit to the teachers, to our schools, to our parents who would have worked with those students to get them to where they are today. Us who sit in Parliament should be inspired by what we have seen today, and I think we can learn something from what has been presented here today.
GRENADA, energizing our community.
Pure Grenada, the Isle of Spice, is more than a slogan. Grenada boasts some of the world's best spices like nutmeg, mace, clove, ginger, turmeric, and true cinnamon. These clean and naturally safe pesticide-free spices that were once available only in local markets are now one mouse click away at GRENADABROADCAST.com. Our spices are responsibly harvested in small batches to preserve freshness, unlike some bulk spices that sit around in silos all year round. Log on to www.GRENADABROADCAST.com and shop for Grenada's best spices. GRENADABROADCAST.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
So babe, Alberto and Beryl come and gone, right? So that means we still have Chris, Debbie, Florence, Michael, Patty, Sarah.
From the looks of it, Tony and Valerie might be coming as well. So we need to pick up some extra hurricane supplies.
You don't know how many hurricanes will be coming this season, so you need to be prepared. At Hubbard's Hardware and Building Supply departments and Food Fair supermarkets, everything from canned foods, flashlights and batteries, to plywood, tarpaulin, lanterns, roof repair kits, water tanks, etc. are available. For over 90 years, we've helped you prepare for and recover from storms. Hubbard's is an integral part of your hurricane preparedness plan. Get discounts when using credit and debit cards.
Okay, so once again, a very good morning to you, and let's say a quick howdy to Chester, who's out there in Switzerland, always the first on Facebook. There's also Michelle, who's joining us from England, and Fitzroy Adams, who's saying good morning to all those of you who are listening. A little later on, we're going to try and take a look and see who are the people, or where they are on the other platforms. However, right now, let's get to the National Report.
Health Minister proposes proper recording of quantitative data as part of plans to tackle health and climate change challenges. Details to this story and more coming up in the National Reports. Welcome back. I am Wendy Edmond with the National Report for today, Wednesday, October 17th, 2018. Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele says the remedy to health and climate change issues within small island states is proper recording of quantitative data. Minister Steele was addressing the gathering at the opening of the 3rd Global Conference on Health and Climate Change in Grenada. He says in order for the problems associated with climate change and health to be alleviated, countries must measure the long-term effects and the associated financial cost.
We need to measure, one, what we are doing, and two, what is happening. That which cannot be measured cannot truly be fixed or truly improved. But we also need to measure to prove to the world what is happening to us. We need to measure the number of Zika cases, and not just the Zika cases, but the effects of not necessarily alone microcephaly, but possibly slow learning curves for a generation born post-Zika. We need to be able to measure, as has become evident with Puerto Rico, not just those who died during the event, but the long-lasting effects on mental health.
Minister Steele says where Grenada is concerned, the dialogue on resilience and data collection started following the passage of Hurricane Ivan in September 2004.
We start those discussions with Ivan. Hurricane Ivan. We start those discussions with respect to what has been done in healthcare physically or so as post and pre-2004, post and pre-Hurricane Ivan, what we have built, what we have rebuilt since that natural disaster. And more appropriately for today's discussions, what else we could have done had we not had that disaster and focused those resources on strengthening our health systems.
Following the 2-day global conference, a draft action plan will be submitted to the World Health Organization to chart the way forward for small island developing states on health and climate change. The minister stressed the importance of being resilient.
Climatic change is here to stay. We therefore need to be having discussions like today on resilience. It's here. We cannot avoid it. Some are ignoring it, but we are feeling it. It is a SIDS discussion, most evident by the fact that we have a delegation from Seychelles and Maldives here, and that we are speaking the same experiences, or about the same experiences and the same challenges. It is a discussion, thankfully, that has been recognized most definitely by PAHO and WHO and United Nations. So I look forward to a Caribbean Action Plan.
The negative impact that climate change has created for farmers and fishers cannot be ignored. That warning from Agriculture Minister Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford as she addressed the annual World Food Day celebrations in Grenville on Tuesday. Farmers and agriculture organizations across Grenada had an opportunity to showcase their produce, which included local dishes, vegetables, fruits, beauty products produced from local ingredients and plants. The minister addressed the large gathering under the theme, "Our actions are our future. A zero hunger world by 2030 is possible." She says government has been working with several organizations to implement programs and projects that will assist farmers to better understand and deal with climate change.
The government of Grenada understands this. Therefore, we will expand investment in agriculture and fisheries, thereby improving our food and nutrition security status. Our actions influence our future. Let us therefore pursue the right actions which are responsible, environmentally and economically sustainable, that will guarantee the results in a zero hunger Grenada by 2030.
Minister Hosford says the government is concerned about the issue of malnutrition and obesity and is working on mechanisms to assist in alleviating these problems.
Through the Zero Hunger Challenge initiative, the government remains committed and views this as one of the mechanisms towards eradicating hunger and malnutrition. This government believes that if we are to tackle the issue of hunger and malnutrition, then we must begin to value the concept of from the farm to the plate. The Zero Hunger Challenge initiative was able to give birth to the concept through the sustainable pilot agriculture project in 4 primary schools. This project gave the 4-H units in the respective schools a significant boost through the procurement of agricultural inputs and technical support offered by the 4-H division.
The 2018 World Food Day Celebration Committee awarded several farmers and organizations for their contribution towards agriculture. Under the National Zero Hunger Challenge project, 4 pilot schools were awarded for their support and implementation of the program. The St. Patrick RC School, the St. Michael's RC School, Bernier Government School, with the St. Patrick's Anglican School being the most outstanding. Outstanding young farmers from the Western, Eastern, Northern and Southern Agriculture District was awarded for their outstanding contribution in agriculture. Awards were also presented to persons in the area of best agriculture practices, the utilization of 100% organic products, and contributions to the National Zero Hunger Challenge Initiative program. The 2018 World Food Day celebration concluded with cultural entertainment. This is the National Report. More news when we return. Welcome back with more news. Approximately 25 young persons will benefit from skills-based training through a new project aimed at empowering youth. A workshop was held at the National Stadium on Tuesday involving key stakeholders of the new project. Public Relations Officer within the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, Delroy Loizon, has the details.
The workshop was jointly hosted by the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, and the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts. It was used to present the results of the rapid assessment study of factors affecting male participation in training activities and programs. The study was done through the Actively Committed and Empowered, or ACE, Youth Rehabilitation Pilot Project held in the community of Mount Horn, St. Andrew in August. ACE is a component of the Awakening Special Potential by Investing in Restoration and Empowerment, or ASPIRE Youth Project, which is funded by government and the Caribbean Development Bank. ASPIRE Project Coordinator Lisa Belfont-Daniel speaks to the importance of the project.
Project ACE is one of the key projects. It's with the Ministry of Youth Development. It's being implemented at Mount Horn in St. Andrew, and it's a pilot project. It's a community-based project. We are targeting 25 young people between the ages of 16 and 25 to help them, whatever area, whether they need literacy and numeracy remedial type. And then we have technical skills and vocational skills, and of course the soft skills component to get them from the block to work.
The study was facilitated by two consultants, Diane Roberts and Claude Douglas. Douglas says apart from the technical skills being received by the youth, life skills is of critical importance.
We lack in that quite a lot in our country these days. People may have, yes, the right business, but if you don't have the right social skills to go with it, the business might be affected by that. So you got to teach them how to relate to people, interpersonal skills, and all of those things.
Project REACH is another component of the ASPIRE project and is being implemented at Her Majesty's prisons. The point person is Mr. Christopher Stroud.
It's critical because what Project REACH does is to provide the men with all-round skill, not only in terms of the technical skill, which is extremely critical because it will be provided men who did not have skills before with new skills, so that when they leave, there's a possibility of them using that skill to become self-employed.
For the National Report, I'm Delroy Lozan.
And that's a wrap for the National Report for today, Wednesday, 17th October 2018. On behalf of all of us in the newsroom, I am Wendy Edmond, thanking you for viewing.
Okay, folks, there you have the National Report, which came into us last night. Before I move along here, I see that we've also been joined by a number of other people on Facebook. Jerry Hopkin, I am assuming that Jerry is out there on the Big Apple this morning, and he's saying a pleasant good morning to you, George, and to all your listeners and viewers. I just shared this live, and I'm encouraging you to do likewise. Yes, those of you listening, please spread the word around, share, like. And Harry Gibson is also with us. Hello, Harry. Where the heck are you? Haven't seen you in quite a while. Are you in Grenada now? Are you in St. Vincent? Or just gallivanting? Would be nice to see you again one of these days, soon. And we've also been joined by Ann Matthew. Ann, what big eyes you've got there. Take a look, folks. If you think I'm kidding, take a look on Facebook and see Ann saying hi to you. On the other platforms, I'm talking about things like TuneIn, Radio Garden, Radio Genre. I see that there are folks out there in Brooklyn, New York, in Germany, in Decatur, Georgia, in North York, Ontario, Canada. Mercier, I'm not sure where that one is, but I think name like Mercier, I could be wrong, but that may be in Quebec. It's in Canada. Concord is with us in Canada as well this morning. Nice to have you on board. And you see that there are folks out there in Florida and a few other places as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll tell you what, right now, let's take another little break here, and then we're going to come back with that really disheartening press conference, which I attended yesterday afternoon about Camerhogne Park. I'm not going to tip you off. Just take a look at this, and then we'll get to that.
I'm always on the move. training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Co-op Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
I don't want that.
But you just asked for a chicken lunch.
I don't have problem with the lunch. Afraid the container.
What is the problem with it?
These styrofoam containers, they don't good for the environment. They shorten with life.
What foolishness you telling me? So what you want me to use?
Put my food in this.
Where you get that?
At the food fair, where you could get all biodegradable food boxes and disposable food supplies like cups, plates, anything you could think about. Name it, it's there. And they don't harm the environment. Food fair, taking the lead in cleaning up and protecting the environment. Hey, like you take me advice, you get in your biodegradable food supplies.
Well, girl, I supporting who's supporting the environment. That is why I shop in at food fair.
Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. Products distributed by Hubbard's agency, Kirani James Boulevard.
After a hurricane, exercise caution as you may still be in danger. Be alert and keep listening to the media for official instructions. Assume all wires are energized and stay away from them. Avoid water that is in contact with poles and lines. Report all emergencies and outages by calling GRENADA at 237. If your home or business sustains damage, and you are safely able to get to the main switch, turn off the power immediately. Get a licensed electrician to check your home for damage before restoring the power. GRENADA will ensure that island-wide power is safely restored within the shortest possible time, with essential services restored first. For more information, please visit us at www.grenlec.com.
GRENLEC, energizing our Grenada.
Alrighty, folks, it's now here local time in Grenada, 28 minutes after 9 o'clock. We've now been joined on Facebook by a few more folks. I see Anthony the Riggs out there is saying good morning from Brooklyn. Hope you're having better weather up there in Brooklyn than we are down here in Grenada, Anthony. Well, actually, we're not complaining. You guys are getting ready for Old Man Winter. We're not. Shireen James is also saying good morning. I'm not sure where Shireen is, but Shireen, welcome. I certainly hope you'll spread the word about Gudday, Grenada. Join us here every weekday morning at 9 o'clock. And Vincent Mitchell, I'm not sure where Vincent is either, but nice to have you folks along with us. Now, let's get down to brass tacks, if you will, like my mom and dad used to say. I attended a brief media conference yesterday afternoon at the Camerhogne Park, at which there was some very disheartening news announced by the chairman of the Save Camerhogne Park Committee, Mr. Jude Bernard. I'm about to share his statement with you, along with a brief comment from the deputy chairman of that committee, Mr. George Mason. Folks, That was an outdoor media conference, and it was a very, very windy afternoon. This was just after midday yesterday afternoon, very windy. As a result, you're going to hear quite a bit of rumble, like we refer to it in this trade. Rumble, wind noise, if you will. We were able to remove some of it, but not all. However, having said that, you will be able to understand what is being said. So I do urge you to listen to this and commemorate with the members of the Save Camerhogne Park Committee as you listen. Here we go.
Friends of the media and the people of Grenada, because I guess you will share whatever you get here this afternoon with the general public. We're very happy that you can join us this afternoon to Yes, we're happy that you can be with us this afternoon. We have two bits of information to share with you, two developments concerning the Save Camerhogne Park Committee Incorporated. First of all, we're happy to be able to share with you the date for our next major activity in the park. We had an activity scheduled for the 4th of August, which was rained out because of that flood on August 1st. We're happy to report that we have received permission to have this event on the 25th of October, which is next Thursday. That's the So we're looking forward to that family fun day. We hope to use it also as a fundraising event as people come to support the park and the efforts that we are making. We hope to start early in the morning. We want it to be a full day. We said officially about 10 o'clock, and we expect to go into the twilight hours, 7 o'clock thereabout. There will be activities for the children. We expect to have a bouncing castle, face painting, the regular stuff. We expect to have solidarity messages. We expect to have local patriotic music, and a number of things which we're going to be putting together over the next couple of days, which we will share with you in the media so you can relate to the general public. So we're looking forward to that great event, and we're asking folks to plan whatever you plan for the 25th of October, whatever you plan for Thanksgiving Day, make a stop at Camerhogne Park a part of that plan. So this is the first thing we want to share with you. On a less upbeat note, we have some information to share with you. As we have said from the very outset, the committee had as its aim, first of all, securing the park, and once we can secure the park for the use of Grenadians, our next big plan was to enhance and to help improve the park, maintain, sustain, whatever you choose to say. And on the 3rd of March, I did visit the Minister of Tourism. As you know, the ministry is the custodian of this park, and we had a very lovely meeting, very brief but very nice. The Minister of Tourism and I go back a long time. Probably I don't even dare say how long we've gone back, and we have a very good relationship. We had a very continual meeting, and our aim, our request to the ministry was that we collaborate for the enhancement of the park. We during that discussion broached the idea of signing an MOU between the committee and the ministry, and a suggestion was made from us that the ministry appoint a point person who will be the liaison between the ministry and our organization. Sad to say, after 4 months, we received from the ministry, from the minister, a letter which basically says to us that they appreciate our effort and our gesture to work with the ministry, but the ministry is unable to work with us at this time. I can read the text of that letter very briefly. It basically says, in essence, I take the opportunity to thank your committee for showing interest in collaborating with the Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation for the development of Camerhogne Park. However, the ministry is not able to enter into any agreement at this time. The door is not shut, but we are told that they are unable at this time. I take this to be a policy statement, not just from the minister or the ministry, but from the government. The fact that it took 4 months to get back to us is an indication. Probably there was contemplation, there were discussions, whatever, and we have received that letter from the ministry. We see that as disappointing. As I said before, it says at this time, so we don't know if at a later time they would be able to change the position or the policy towards our committee. But we thought that it would be a good thing if we can work together. And we explained to the minister at that time of that meeting the reasons why. And now that we have received such a correspondence, it means that no longer can we expect that collaboration and that cooperation. We are unable, since the ministry is the custodian of the park, to seek and attract any assistance for the park. The park is right now at a very rundown and dilapidated state. Look at this. There's tables and benches, they're broken, they're nails, they need repainting, they need cleaning. And we had received indication from persons that once you secure the park, then we will work with you to assist you in maintaining and enhancing the park. There is the children's area towards the beach, which is now non-existent, that we are seeking assistance from someone overseas to help us to do a new kids area for the park. Now, unfortunately, all those initiatives will have to be put on hold because we don't have any authority on the park, and we are hoping to do everything and channel everything through the ministry. And now the ministry says we can't get into any agreement with you. It means that those things are thrown out. And to me, this is sad. It's very disappointing for us. And when you look at the number of persons who use the park and have to use it the way it is right now, we think that it is unfortunate that we couldn't forge that kind of working relationship. It also, to me, is a very powerful signal, the most powerful signal yet, that it seems that the ministry's hands are tied in terms of doing things at the park. I don't want to read too much into it, but to me it is a clear signal that probably some of our greatest fears probably are about to be realized. And it means that we have to become even more vigilant and more aggressive in working to defend and protect this part of our patrimony. So we are calling on the Grenadian public to, we want to serve them notice that we have to up the ante. We have to really get a lot more aggressive in terms of our promotion of the park, our bumper sticker campaign, which is still struggling to get off the ground. We want folks to come out on Thursday the 25th. Donations are accepted. We now have our bank account, which we will share with you through the media. We now have our email address and our website running again. And we want to just ask all Grenadians, please, we need your support. The signs are ominous. we need to work together. If we want to protect this park, this is the time we have to come together and rally.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Jude, in the interest of time, could I ask this very quickly? You said a little while ago the door is not closed. Is that was that a quote in the letter, or were those your words?
Oh, but it do not be closed. The reason why I said that, George, is because
Those were your words.
These are my words.
Okay.
It says here we are unable to enter into any agreement at this time.
Okay.
I think with diplomatic language, that's what it says.
I think you may also have addressed my next question towards the end of your dissertation there. I think I might have been expecting a little bit too much in response to your request to government, because the ministry is a part of government. I think everybody in this country knows where government stands on Camerhogne Park. Did you really expect the ministry to say, hey, yeah, guys, we're going to work with you?
Absolutely. You know why? Because on the 8th of January, in response to a question, a direct question about the future of the park, to the Prime Minister, he said unequivocally, he doesn't know why people still continue to ask questions about the future of the park.
Okay.
He said it in all different forms, and people continue to ask, but he said the park has not been sold, it has not been divested, it has not been leased. He had listened to Grenadians, and the park, in essence, is safe.
Okay.
So
okay,
I expected
that. Yeah, so you had reason. All right. Okay, thank you.
I think that the government does not want to legitimize the city Camerhogne Park committee, because if they agree to work along with the committee, it will actually be giving the committee legitimacy. So, in my opinion, I think that they are spawning the invitation to collaborate, but it also sends. It's very ironic, because the government is always saying, let's organize together, let's work together, organize committees, organize youth groups, organize village councils, organize at different levels, so that the government can work along with those interest bodies. Now the committee is asking that the government work along. They are saying that they can't. So it's ironic. And the question is, when will they be able to work along with the committee? And two, are they very serious? Are they really serious about seeking participation and collaboration from interest groups to develop Grenada, Camerhogne, and Petit Martinique? Here we sit, and we can see the dilapidated nature of this place. And people are asking us, as the committee, having known that we are very active and very vocal in the defending here, and have it be used for our people's recreational, therapeutic, and other aspects of their life. Here we are asking them to work along with us, and we are being told that they can't work. People are now asking us to do whatever we can, and they will help. That's why we have established a bank account. They will help us through funding to do whatever we can, but of course with the government's permission. That's what we are asking, and they are saying no. So, as my sixth sense tells me, the hands are tied.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I have a final question for you. You've gotten to this stage, and I think by your own admission, things aren't looking very good right now. What's your next step, please?
Well, we have to continue fighting, and we have to try to rally the support of Grenadians. Because don't forget, 86% of all Grenadians in a poll 3 years ago indicated that they wanted the park retained for its current use. And if Grenadians have said so, we'll have to call upon them now and let them know what the situation is, and call on them to vote with their pocketbooks and with their feet, and show us that they are willing to support us in our fight to protect the park. That's what we have to do. I mean, we're not going to roll over and play dead. There is no way. There is support. I mean, if there is one thing in Grenada that for which there is support across party lines and everything else, it is this park. No political party has gotten even 60% of the votes in any election for a long time, but we had 86% of Grenadians, all political affiliations, saying with no doubt, we want to protect this park, and we want to give these persons a chance to come and show that they support. That's why we've had, for instance, this the account, because there are many people who are saying to us that we want to support it, but we don't want our support to be misconstrued as being against the government. So if we can support the park in an anonymous way, it will make it easier for us, but we want to have our park. Some people say we love the government, we love the Prime Minister, we love our party, but we love our park. So I am not daunted by this. I'm disappointed, but I'm not daunted, because I believe that the support of the Grenadian public is going to show. And we have every reason to think that we're going to. Someone said to me, it's a battle you can't lose. You know, and you shouldn't lose. So we're prepared for that long battle.
Hiya. Hiya. Very discouraging news, very discouraging news. Makes you wonder, where are we headed? Where are we headed when the people of the nation are not allowed to work with their government? By the way, we have now been joined, and I really want to share this one with you. We've been joined by folks and more folks in Switzerland, Dealsdorf, I think it is, Staten Island, and New York. And guess what? There's somebody out there in Australia, place called Davenport, I think it is, or Devonport in Australia. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, it's 9:48 here in the daytime, so it's about 9:48. Isn't it past your bedtime? Devonport, thanks a lot for joining us. Also, on Facebook, Agatha Jordan out there in Carriacou. She says, very good morning in Carriacou. To you, George, and to your guests. I'm listening to you from Carriacou. Good subject. And she gives a big thumbs up. That's Agatha in Carriacou. Judy Lewis Joseph is saying, very good. Good morning, Mr. Grant from Guava State. Hello there. Are you guys getting rain up there yet? If you aren't, probably will later on today. And Leisha O'Blair Charles. She says here, hi, George. How are you? It's Odinga. Hello, Odinga. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I am very pleasantly surprised to see you. By the way, folks, if you're wondering why I'm reacting this way to Odinga, just let me very briefly tell you. You know the Sunday program we do, we've been doing it now for about 14 years. And we used to make an awful lot of trips to Carriacou at one time, generally around the regatta time, to do that program. And the people in Petit Martinique said, you know, how come you always go to Carriacou and you don't come to Petit Martinique? So we finally decided, a couple of years ago, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but 2-3 years ago, we decided to go to Petit Martinique. And this lady, Odinga, is the lady who was so kind to us. She treated us like royalty. By us, I'm talking about a gentleman by the name of John Rullo. He's blind. He's an advocate. And he went up there to make some donations to the visually impaired people of Petit Martinique. So good of him. God bless him. And the person who really put this thing and got me ready to go to Petit Martinique was a lady by the name of Valerie Thompson. So between Valerie and Odinga, they arranged a wonderful time. And Odinga, I am really, really looking forward to coming back up to Petit Martinique to be with you guys. I trust that you're still there. At one point I heard that you had moved to Grenada. Well, one way or another, we got to get together again real soon. So thank you very much for checking in this morning. Let's see here. Chester Simon says, after listening to this conference, there is no way we should give up. No way. Amen, Chess. Amen. And I'm sure you're going to be doing your part, as you are with the Silver Sands Project. Carletta Patrice is checking in from Aruba. Hello there, Carletta. Thank you. I certainly hope to see you more frequently on this program. And Chester comes back here and he says, this park is not in Egypt. Yeah. Let that message be sent loud and clear. Anthony Howard says, good morning. I'm just reading this stuff for the first time, so I hope that the people who penned it took the time. He says, let's see here. Anthony Howard says, good morning, George and friends. I'm concerned that the recent Silver Sands video showing the relationship between Silver Sands and Grenada farmers was created to give Silver Sands investors the upper hand in their negotiations to build a hotel on the property now known as Camerhogne Park. Anthony, I don't know. You may have a point. I don't know. Yeah. Agatha Jordan says, okay, we've already read Agatha's comment. Judy Lewis from Guava State. Yeah, folks. Oh, by the way, Ali Machira. Ali, this guy spends an awful lot of time on Facebook. Every time I pick up my smartphone and look at my Facebook page, Ali is there. Ali, looking forward to meeting you one of these days, sir. Very, very vocal. Judy Lewis Joseph says here, very cloudy and drizzling this morning. Yeah, I haven't taken a look outside since I came into the studio here to do the program this morning, but yeah, when I came in this morning, we were having a light drizzle as well, and as I mentioned, I took a look at the satellite picture. There's a web page that gives an isolated picture. Forget about the whole Atlantic and the whole Caribbean. It gives just an isolated picture of Grenada or any island. You can choose any island, and it shows you what's coming your way. And there was a big blob of stuff to the east of us. So I do expect that throughout the course of the day we could have showers off and on. That's nothing to worry about. You're not going to have high winds and all that kind of stuff, but nevertheless, it could be a pretty soggy Thursday afternoon. Carletta Patrice says, hi. Well, hello there, Carletta Patrice. Just before I wrap it up, folks, okay, here, Vernon Luzon. Hello, Mr. George. Vernon, why the mister? I mean, you know, you guys are carrying this gray hair thing a little bit too far. My name is George. How many times must I say that? Actually, I haven't said it a lot on Facebook or YouTube, but back in the days of Chime, I constantly had to tell people, please just call me George. You know, I call you by your first name. And I remember somebody saying to me some time ago, well, Mr. Grant, it's a sign of respect. Come on. I appreciate that. But let's be honest. If you call me George, is it because you disrespect me? And do you think because I call you by your first name, it's because I disrespect you? Nah. And then you know what? One day somebody explained to me, George, that's the way we have all been brought up. And that person was actually correct. As a little kid growing up in L'Abbaye, you addressed everybody Mr., and Miss. So I understand that. It's just that, with all that gray hair on my head, I feel kind of old when people say Mr. Grant, and there's a lot of that going on out there. Vernon Louison says, hello, Mr. George. I must commend you on bringing us consistent, informative conversations from your country. Thank you, sir. Vernon Louison, Florida, New York. Well, there's a Florida in New York. Okay, Vernon, nice to have you, and I certainly hope that this is just the first of many, many visits. Look forward to seeing you. Anthony DeRiggs says, yes, Vernon, his program is a mile above the foolishness that parades as information. You too are very kind, Anthony. And by the way, for those of you who have not seen Anthony yet, this gentleman does something almost on a daily basis. He likes to look back in time and reminisce a lot about the Grenada we once had. Tells you a lot about the history and about the various locations in this country. Check out his page. I think it's Facebook, Facebook/Anthony D. Riggs. I'm not sure if the W is in there, but check it out, okay? And Anthony, you might want to stick it on my page here so that anybody watching this morning may pay you a visit. Okay. Again, this program will be up on Facebook very shortly. That's going to eliminate one problem. I know that one of the problems you folks have been having this morning is the usual buffering. Well, you know where I stand on that. But I'm pleading with you once again. I'm pleading with you, as I have been for the past couple of Sundays on Sundays with George Grant. The ISB people say it's because we're using broadband and we need to have fiber and all of that. Folks, Jukutu, Georgia can't afford fiber. So we were asking you to please go to the donate page, chip in a little bit to help us get the fiber. Takes a load off my shoulder, and it takes a lot of aggravation off your shoulder. I'm glad. I'm sitting here, everything flows just fine. But for those of you who have to sit out there and watch this picture going, and then sometimes it's gone totally, and then it comes back. The other day I was finished doing a program at, one Sunday I was finished doing the program at 12 o'clock. And later on, about an hour later, I went to the Facebook page to see if it was up. Would you believe the program had not yet gone up to Facebook because of the quality of internet service that we have? Help us, folks. Help us to overcome that, please. The noise this morning, the wind noise, like I mentioned to you, it was very windy yesterday afternoon when we were doing this, but at least I believe that you heard what was said this morning. It may have been annoying, but the noise was there, and even when it's replayed on Facebook later on today, you will hear that noise. But I think you were able to get the gist of it, okay? And we're going to work at eliminating that problem. Ali Matura says, meeting you will be great, just in defense of my country and the path back to another form of slavery. Yes, Ali. Ahama, I think that's the way you pronounce it, Ahama Rayburn is saying, good morning, Mr. Grant. You're very provocative, Ahama. I'm not sure where you are, but thanks for joining us as well. Fitzroy James says here, I was thinking if it is a coincidence that the CCJ election will be held in Grenada and Antigua the same day. You can jump to whatever conclusions you want, Fitzroy. Good question. Good question. Good question. Worth pondering. Agatha Jordan says, good morning, Allie, my dear friend. Please keep us informed. Great job. Yeah. Okay, folks, enough of that. Let me punch up a little break here, and I'll come on back with some inspirational words for you just before we pack it in.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company, tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive, motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary, public liability.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
GRENADA Community Partnership Initiative.
We're here in sincere appreciation to GRENADA as a utility corporation for the donation of that rooftop solar generating plant. It would reduce our monthly bill. On behalf of the Hillsview Home residents and the wider community here at Gove, to just thank GRENADA most sincerely for that thoughtful donation.
GRENADA, energizing our community.
Conveniently located in the Grandstand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store. Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Granadas will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Okay, folks, just about time to pull the curtain down, but I see here that girl, better late than never. I see that we've just been joined by Claudette Joseph, and she's asking, what is the discouraging news for Camerhogne Park? She obviously missed that piece that we did yesterday. Claudette, we carried a press conference which took place yesterday at Camerhogne Park, and we were told by Mr. Jude Bernard, chairman of the Save Camerhogne Park Committee, that government has decided that they're not gonna work with the committee. The committee wanted to work with Camerhogne Park because apparently there are some external sources who would really like to help them to preserve and, you know, sort of upgrade the park and stuff like that. But those sources will not do anything unless government gives the green light. Well, they ain't given the green light. So just in case you missed any of it, it's going to be up on Facebook very shortly. You can check that out. Agatha Jordan says, Ahama is in Carriacou, George, a great friend of mine. Well, Agatha, tell Ahama we really appreciate seeing her this morning and look forward to seeing her again. If not every morning, well, as often as possible. Folks, I always like to write, we carry a lot of stuff that's sometimes just depressing, like that stuff about Camerhogne Park this morning. Well, I always like to wrap up the program with something a little bit more upbeat. And something I've learned over the years is that it's always good to hear God's promises. I take these promises to heart because I have seen them fulfilled time and time again. And I hope you will too. So let's go. If you confess your sins, not only will He forgive them, but guess what? He will forget them when you believe. He will bless you in every way. His blessings will overtake you. He will help you to meet your needs. He has promised to bless our agriculture. Check it out. It's right there in the Holy Scriptures. Our crops. You will live in houses you did not build. You will help to train this nation in His Word. And believe me, He's counting on you to do that. He will give you divine guidance. All your diseases will be healed. Yep. You, friends, have been sanctified. In other words, made holy. What more can you ask for? Couldn't think of a better way to wrap it up than with these words. God's promises. Some of them. There are a lot more. Folks, time to say bye-bye. Thanks a lot for joining me for today's edition of Gudday, Grenada. As always, I have enjoyed sitting here with you immensely. And I thank you. And I'm sending God's blessings your way. And by His grace, we shall see thee again tomorrow morning at 9.
When I think upon your goodness